Hello, scholars. Welcome, welcome. Come on in. Welcome. Let's see. It says we're notifying. All right. I see Janelle. Hi, Janelle. Hi, Savage Daughter. Mickey. Aristotle. Sierra. Hello. Let's see. Nom Nom. JD or Jade. Savage Daughter says, oh, thank you. Thank you. Something about a badge. Thank you, guys. Trisha, welcome. I graded your work today, Trisha. Hi, Caruth. Caruth F. Caruth F. Redbone 33507. Y'all, they're going by so fast, you all. Cece Marie, welcome. Latora Barnes, welcome. Yes, Trisha, you did great. I believe it was you. Your name rang a bell when I saw it. I believe I graded your work today and you did fine. You all had me in my emotions reading the responses for real, you know? So thank you all for doing your week 0, that first assignment where you identified someone who you in your circle of influence who's supportive. Man, you all had me in my emotions reading. So thank you all for being vulnerable and sharing that with me. Hello, Kish. Hello, Mrs. KKT. Is that Katie? KKT. Woman of, she went away. Okay, Teresa Huntley, welcome. Yes, it felt good to speak it. Yes, for sure. Our next step is going to feel even better. It's going to add another layer of goodness to the experience. Latora Barnes, welcome. I recognize your name as well. Leanberg or I am Bert. Okay. Hi. Okay. You all, we have over 100 students enrolled in the class. And what did I say? I only wanted 20 so we can have an intimate little circle. But I'm not turning anyone away. You're here. If you stick through the 8 weeks and you do all of the assignments, you are going to be, I can say it's transformative, you all. You're going to be a new person. Your eyes are going to be open to some things. And I think your awareness of your power is going to illuminate, radiate, or wake up, or you'll be able to recognize your power in these relationships and all of the layers of the ecological system that you live in. All right, Camya Packer, hello. Women of Wanderlust, hi there. Roxanne, hello. Hi, Roxanne. I like how you spelled your name. Co-op joined. Hi, Co-op. Okay, so listen. It's 3:04. We're going to use every minute, okay? Okay, so week 0's assignment was to identify someone in your life who you feel has been very supportive to you. So today, I'm going to ask you to take that a little further. And I think I made this comment on several of the submitted assignments. I want you to think of a way, an opportunity where you can share what you wrote with your person. That's what I want you to do. Today, in this class, you know, you don't have to do it right now if it's not coming to you, but if it is coming to you, just, welcome that. But I want you to take what you shared, because you all share some powerful, emotive, vulnerable, raw things. incidences, people in your family, people in your circle, and they need to know. They need to know. They need to know that. They need to hear that. They need to hear it from you. You could write it in a card. Back in the day when I was a little girl, we used to get birthday cards. I don't know if folks still, I guess they still do that. I don't know. But we used to get, I would love getting a birthday card from my grandma because she had the most beautiful penmanship, and she would always put a couple of dollars in that card, and I was always so happy to get a birthday card from my grandma. I want you all to take that and make it special. Make it special. Now, depending on how special you can make it, you can just call them on the phone, send them a text, or you could say, it's telling me to swipe right to view more comments, but I don't have time to do that. You can say, hey, I want to take you to lunch. And then by whatever you decide to do to share this with them, you're memorializing it. You're making it a special moment. And you know what that means? It's something that you and that person will have special that you can recognize every year on that day to keep your relationship meaningful. And you know what? It also serves as a reminder of the validity of that relationship, why that relationship is so important, and how to nurture it and care for it. And if disagreements come up, to prioritize constructive problem solving around those disagreements, right? Okay. All right, so you all, I'm Dr. Lynn Daniel, PhD, EDS. I'm the self-care evangelist here on social media. I am by trade, training, experience. I am a licensed and certified public school teacher. I teach secondary English language literacy to high school seniors now. I've been teaching seniors, what is this, year 4 or something? I don't know, I lost count. But before that, prior to that, I taught middle school for so many years, y'all, probably as many as some of you have been alive. And so, and then I've done some work with like first year college students. So we're going to look at the ecological systems theory. This is Bronfenbrenner's, Yuri Bronfenbrenner is his name. He's a Russian person by origin. That's where he's from. And he developed this theory, this conceptual framework in 1979. The year I graduated high school is when he, published this and put it all together. He had been working on it for some time, looking at how students learn in school. What do students bring with them in a classroom? And then what's the overlap and the interplay with the child's experience outside of the classroom, how that comes into the classroom, how it impacts the people in the classroom, and the whole shebang. And so I think he did a pretty good job. So I'm going to read it to you so I'm not repeating. The ecological framework for social-emotional development looks at how a person's feelings and relationships are shaped by the people and places around them, like family, school, the community, the institutions in the community, and so forth. To help someone grow emotionally and socially, we need to think about all the different parts of life and how they work together. So this approach helps schools to be responsive to their community, their demographic, their faculty and staff, the organizations within their community, and they can start building strong communications and strong trust and relationships. You can't even really have a relationship without trust. Okay? And this approach helps communities and schools to support their stakeholders in learning how to manage their feelings, how to cooperate with others, and how to make good choices. Okay? All right. Thank you all. I see someone, Arani Champagne present. Hi, Arani. Welcome. Shea, welcome. Tasha, welcome. Welcome, everyone. All right. Madame someone, it went away so fast. All right, you all, I put today's PowerPoint or slide deck. I think I made it on PowerPoint. I put the slide deck in the classroom. And by the way, this is my first time really using the full capacity of Google Classroom. So next week on out, we are going to meet in Google Classroom. We will, instead of meeting here on Sundays like this live on TikTok, I'm just going to move everything back into Google Classroom, because that way I believe I will have a saved account of this meeting, which I can do here. I believe I can, but I just want everything in one place, and then you all can just find everything there. Okay, so make note of that next week we will just meet in Google Classroom. All right, so I am going to open the slide deck that I put in there. You all have that slide deck as well, so if you want to open it, you may. And if you are in here at the moment and you're not a register for the class is not accepting any more new students, because we have almost 200 students in there. And you all, I said initially I only wanted 20 students because I felt that I would be able to really like have that intimacy with you all. But I'm not turning anyone away, like who's already in there. If you're in there, you're in. If you're not in there, come back. You know, this is an 8-week course. You can message me, leave me a message here on TikTok if you're not in the class. And if I get 20 people who say they want another session, then I'll start another session in April. Okay, so someone is asking, where's the link? If you're needing the link at this moment, there is no link anymore for right now, for spring. So, okay, but you're here today for this. So this will give you a taste of what the class is. And then if you think you like it, you're welcome to sign up or message me and ask me to do this again in April, starting in April. And if I get enough people who are interested, I will, okay? All right, so you all, today's slide deck is titled Creating Your Self-Care Ecosystem Map. You all are making a map of your ecosystem. The microsystem is the layer of the ecosystem that is closest to you. It's in close proximity to you. It is your family. It's the community you live in. It's your best friend. It's your job. It's all of the people that are closest, your siblings, you know, your relatives. Some people wrote about their relatives, how their relatives have been quite supportive for them, you know. Okay, so let me get to that slide. I'm going to skip some. All right, central to you. So we are starting by, when we look at the microsystem, it causes us to center ourselves in that layer of the ecosystem. We're able to recognize what our personal needs are in relationship to the people in our microsystem. Now, I'm going to say some things, and you all, I don't want you to take offense at anything I say, okay? Because some of the things I am going to describe are sensitive, and they could reflect you, or they may not, but they're reality. They're people's realities, okay? And so I'm not trying to embarrass anyone. I'm not trying to what the young people say. I'm not trying to put anyone on Front Street. That's what we used to say back in the day. I'm trying to help people, okay? I can remember a time when I would allow my bedroom to get so cluttered. Now, well, actually, I'm going to back that up, you all. I can remember a time when I let my whole house be a mess. Just the whole shebang was a mess. I can remember a time when I had dishes in the sink with hard food on it. Because, I was a new teacher. I was a young wife and mother. I had little children. I was so busy. I felt overwhelmed. I had no systems in place. I hadn't learned any systems, right? And so I was so overwhelmed. Like systems would be calendars, schedule days for certain tasks, menu schedule, so many things, even your wardrobe. I had a friend who had a systemized way of organizing her wardrobe for work and her lunches for work, and I was so pissed off at her. At the time when she told me, I was so pissed off. Why? Because she was a single woman, young, beautiful, smart, with it, teacher, single woman. And I was a young, beautiful, married, with little children, teacher, busy, overwhelmed woman. And to hear her tell me she had her lunch planned out for the week and her wardrobe planned out for the week, I was livid. Okay, so the microsystem helps us to look at ourselves. Now, I wasn't aware of Bronfenbrenner's ecological system back then, but you know what I did? I made up in my mind to stop being angry or so bothered by what she was telling me, and I adopted what she was saying. I think she was telling me that to help me. I took it as, instead of her bragging, I took it as her signaling me she maybe recognized something. Maybe my clothes didn't look right. I don't know. I thought they looked right. Maybe she noticed I didn't have lunches sometime. I don't know. But I took it as a signal for help. And I started learning about systems. Okay? So I went from having a dirty kitchen with old food, crumbled up, crusted up food. I went to a clean kitchen. As clean as that meant for me at the time, dishes were washed and they were in that little tray thing on the sink. I didn't put them up, but they were clean. Okay? It went to me sweeping the floor and vacuuming and making sure, at least the front area of the house was orderly and sanitized. Okay? All right. So understanding your own needs is crucial for effective self-care and overall well-being. And now, I don't remember the immediate effects of all of that, but reflecting, I bet you it did lower my stress. I bet you it did help me to have a sense of control. I bet you it did make me have pleasant feelings when I got home and I walked into a clean house. Right? So start with yourself. Identify your personal values. So what's important to you? What do you need? What do you want? What do you like? What is important to you? Okay, someone had written in their response something about peace, their peace. They wanted to preserve their peace. That's a value. That's important to you. Okay, so now you got to investigate. Okay, sit down and think about, well, how does that look when I keep my peace, when I preserve my peace? Oh, it looks like I don't accept unscheduled guests. You cannot just come to my house unannounced, unscheduled, ring my doorbell and expect me to let you in. Nope, it's not happening. Because I'm settling down to preserve my peace. I'm making my bed to preserve my peace. I'm doing the laundry with that detergent that smells so good. Because when I wear my clothes and they smell good, it makes me feel peaceful. So don't come ringing my doorbell, Because I'm doing laundry. Okay? All right. Also, starting with yourself helps you to understand your emotions. Recognizing and understanding your emotions is essential for managing stress and improving mental health. Managing your emotions. So someone knocks on the door, rings the doorbell unannounced. You can make a choice right then and there. You can ignore it, or you can go to the door and tell them off. Or you could go to the door with an attitude and just let them in, like, with an attitude. Whatever you do is your choice, but go back to your values. Think about what is important to me. What do I need? What is crucial for my self-care and wellness in this moment, and make a decision. Okay? So we start with centering ourselves. Now I'm going to go to the next slide. The importance of self-awareness. All right, this is big, you all. I'm still working on this one. I'm still working on everything pertaining to Bronfenbrenner's social emotional wellness framework, guys. There's so many layers to pull back. I'm still working. Okay, the importance of self-awareness. So self-awareness helps us recognize stressors that impact our mental and emotional well-being. Okay, what's this coming up on here? And it enables us to use effective coping strategies. So that self-awareness is, okay, you're in tune with how your body feels when someone rings your doorbell unannounced. Ooh, you feel that, right? Look, like it makes you jump. It makes you, you have a physical reaction to it. Okay, so what is it? What is the physical reaction? And if you're going straight to attitude, like, ooh, that's the reaction, and that's telling you, this has disturbed my peace, and I am refusing to entertain it. Right? Okay, so being able to identify stressors helps us to know how to deal with them, how to react. And it helps us to identify our triggers. You know, people try to trigger us. Just go to the grocery store. Just go outside. There are people who, they get enjoyment out of driving weird around you. You got a nice car and they want to drive weird around your nice car. Right? Because they want to get a rise out of you to see, well, I bet you he's snooty. He's driving that whatever. And he's shining. I'm going to park real close to him and see if he gets... People do weird things. So then that means we have to do what's right to maintain our peace. Even if that means parking the car kind of zigzaggy or whatever so nobody parks next to you. Or parking your car farther down a little bit so you can get your steps in, and ain't nobody gonna want to park down there anyway because they don't want to get their steps in. You recognize what triggers you, and then you construct your response to it. Right? Okay. Because triggers affect your mood, they affect your reactions, they can lead to healthier responses. But if you leave them unchecked, they don't lead to healthy responses. I can remember when my daughters were young, when they were real little, they were so loud all the time, just so loud. And they would jump on the bed, and they were so loud. And I'm like, who told you all you could jump on the bed? We are not jumping on the bed. We are not jumping on the beds, little ones. They were little, right? Like little kids, they don't care about the rules. But I didn't I didn't have the patience or whatever back then to like sit them down and gentle mommy them and say, listen, we're not jumping on the beds. They just would get on my nerve and loud as ever. And my peace would be disturbed. And then I would go in there. Didn't I tell y'all to get off that bed? I said don't jump on the bed. But see, now I know. Well, I knew it then, but I mean, I didn't know the steps to plan a response. I didn't know the steps to teach them what I wanted from them. I mean, I knew teaching, I was a teacher. But we take for granted, or we're just not self-aware, guys, on some things. And so we're doing things, we're reacting, we're making ineffective choices because our self-awareness game is lame, right? We don't really understand the power that we have to affect the changes that to match the kind of life we want, right? So if I wanted them to be quiet, I could have brought them in the kitchen where I was cooking or wherever, sat them at the table and gave them a quiet activity, or sat them in a room close to the kitchen, sit them down with some puzzles, a coloring book, tell them verbally, you're going to do this for 15 minutes, set a timer, play some soft music or a little soft TV show of their favorite character, right? And then peace. Okay, so you all, your power, here's your power. You need to make a personalized self-care plan. Here's your power. Now, you don't have to get this thing done this week. This is a life course. It's a life experience course. And your plan is going to change over, like in Bronfenbrenner's, in this theory, he talks about the chrono system. That's time over a lifetime. How your self-care and social emotional wellness is going to grow, change, morph as you continue to live. So you start thinking this week about your life that you want to have, your life that you have now, and do they match? And how well do they match? And then where there is a gap, where there's a mix match, they don't match. You've got this over here now and you want this, or however, whichever hand I did. Your life is currently one way, but you really want it to be another way that you feel is more reflective of your peace or whatever whatever you want. You've got to plan it, guys. I have to plan it. So on that slide, the importance of self-awareness, that third bullet says, self-awareness allows for the creation of personalized self-care plans tailored to meet your individual needs for growth and well-being. Yep. Okay. All right, I'm going to move on to, let me see what the next slide is. Oh, the 6 categories, y'all. Let's go through these. Okay. Now, the 6 categories of self-care and social emotional wellness. And if you've never checked out, what's that website that I like? The Self-Care Consortium Global.org. Self-Care Foundation Consortium Global.org, or the Self-Care Foundation Global.org, something like that. That's a very good, reliable, effective, meaningful, valuable resource. It's one of those. Self-Care Foundation Consortium Global.org. Just Google it. It'll give you there. They've got 7 pillars of self-care that's very similar to these 6 that we're going to talk about. Okay, so we're going to talk about these 6 categories. Okay. Wait, I think I'm going too fast. Physical. Okay. Now, the physical looks at nutrition, exercise, rest and recovery. It looks at mental clarity. It looks at emotions. It looks at our overall well-being. It looks at like just everything dealing with the body. Okay? And I know for me, like when I find myself struggling with my nutritional aspect of my self-care plan, is because I've allowed things to get out of balance. And that could be that maybe I'm trying something new, something different, and I haven't mastered it yet. I'm not very good at this new thing, this new component that I've added in. Or maybe I'm trying to wean myself off of some aspect of my previous plan, and I'm wobbly. Like, you know, when you learn how to ride a bicycle, learn how to roller skate, like you're wobbly. And that's imbalance. And so if you don't know what to put in place to get support, you'll fall. And that's, you know, what I noticed for myself. And so if you ever notice that about yourself too, what, do you beat yourself up because you fell off your bike or your roller skates? No. You get back up and try it again, right? And then that may even look like you getting support. Like the kids, the little kids roller skate with that guardrail looking thing with the wheels on it. They roller skate with that for support until they can get it together. Right? When you bowl and you don't know how to bowl, you bowl with the bumpers up until you can get it together. Okay? Okay. So physical, get your exercise in, decide what you like and figure it out. Get your nutrition and diet together, decide what you like and figure that out. And make sure you're resting and recovering. Decide what you like and figure that out. Okay, emotional. So this is understanding the emotions because it helps you to manage your emotion, where you're not triggered by the person in the grocery store who puts their cart way up on your butt or whatever. Because you know some people. I went to the grocery store today. Thank God people were gracious. People were gracious in the grocery store. No one was acting weird, you know. But I've seen people be weird. And y'all know what I'm talking about, right? Okay, so understand your emotions. This is crucial to help you manage your feelings, my feelings effectively. Like, make a statement. When I go out today to catch the train, you know, make your statement a purpose. That may mean having your earbuds in, which it probably does if you're on a train, carrying a book, or take your journal and write in your journal and doodle and draw pictures that go with your journal entry. Like, I am preserving my peace at all cost. Okay? Okay. Of course, journaling is on here because journaling is, like, I did ask you all to write, and some of you have beautiful handwriting, by the way. I could read almost everybody's who hand wrote, and then there were some typed. So if you want to type it, that's okay. I gave you my rationale for asking you to handwrite it because I want you to go away from this course transformed. And the research on brain and learning shows a correlation between physically, the tactile sensory, writing on the page, memory of learning. That's a legitimate, you can Google it. That's legitimate research. That's the only reason why I asked you to do it. Because you're going to put it's just a different type of a learning. It's a different type of a learn. If you're typing it, you're still thinking, but I think the typewriter, the keys, I don't know. It makes it so smooth. I don't know the literature. I'm not the scientist who did the literature. I just know what I read and learned. Okay, so journal. Journal. Keep that journaling practice going. And then mindfulness practices. So these help you to manage your stress and promote mindfulness is like you being aware of your state of being at that moment. You are mindful of, you're mindful about how you're feeling, what the thoughts racing through your mind are. You're mindful about your schedule. You have to be somewhere at 8 o'clock. So earlier, you back yourself up to an earlier hour, and you mindfully schedule out all the things you have to do to support you arriving at that scheduled appointment, either 5 minutes early or on time. Well, coming in at 8 is late, according to some people I know, right? Yeah. So mindfulness is being intentional. You're intentional about what you do. So if, like when I was younger, when I was a young mom, I used to worry a lot about, what was I worrying about? I was worrying a lot about like any and everything, because I was still young and I was still learning how to take the reins of my life, right? And you're still learning. That's why, I like working with adolescents, because I talk to them and I tell them, look, seniors, you all really should be putting your assignments on that phone that's glued to your hand. You need to go to that calendar and put all your assignments in there, because some of you all work a job. Some of you have a car note. The kids drive better cars than the teachers have, most of them. You all have so many responsibilities and obligations outside of the four walls of this campus. So you need to remind yourself of when the things on the campus are due, right? Be intentional, be mindful, and turn those assignments in on time. Because when you leave us, seniors, you're going to be in a college, in the military, running your own business, or on someone's job, and you're going to have to abide by certain regulations and obligations, right? And so you might as well start practicing now. Practice now. Just practice. Try it. All right. Moving to the next slide. Your cognitive engagement. Here's the mental category. Mental well-being is closely linked to cognitive engagement, which can be enhanced through various activities. I enjoy doing puzzles, word puzzles, all different kinds of puzzles. I enjoy doing those. I enjoy playing certain games, like digital games, especially, on my this laptop that I'm looking at on my phone. Different games that they say help with cognition, and they're fun. So cognitive engagement, you all being in this course, I don't know. I mean, you all can tell me in the comments. When was the last time you've been in a classroom? Because the responsibilities of staying up on the assignments, knowing where the assignments go, all of the logistics of learning, having the right materials. Like in the past, if you've not done that well and you've not mastered that, you may be coming in with a sense of anxiety. So what I would suggest is slow yourself down. If you're already in the class for spring, you're in. Now, if and you still have until 11:59 tonight to get week 0's assignment in there. Right? So slow down, get the materials you need. You need a journal. All right, we're still talking about cognitive engagement. You need a journal. A journal could look like, I have a zillion journals, if you, in dog numbers, like, I have a lot of journals. I'm trying to stop exaggerating. I have a lot of journals because I like journaling. And I go to the low-cost stores and I buy journals. Now, I'm trying to show you all some, but, okay, here's one. Wait, can I get it out? Good night. This one was not from the low-cost store. This one was an investment. I spoiled myself on this one. I spoiled myself so much that I'm scared to write in it. It's just too beautiful, but I am going to use it. But just, okay, get you a nice one if you want, or just get a spiral. You know, they're $3, $2. Or just get a bunch of papers. You know, get a bunch of papers, fold them in half like that, like hamburger. You know, like that, and staple them and make a little book. Make your own journal. All right, so if you've not been in a classroom in a while, you may need to like just slow your roll a little bit, not too much. Just take a deep breath, organize your materials, log in to Google Classroom, click that link that you have, go back in there and go through and see what can you see? What can you see? What assignments can you see? And if you can see the assignment, you should be able to see the due date and the due time. And then just decide on when you're going to get it done. Like just slow yourself down a little bit, okay? So personal development, this course is personal development. It is designed to stimulate the mind, to contribute to your personal development and your overall mental health. And then you're learning new skills in this course because the things that the assignments are helping you to become more self-aware about your own microsystem. What is that? And what does it look like? And you're right in the middle of it. Okay? And so, what does that look like? And how do you get along in it? Like, how do you function in it? Okay. I'm going to go real fast through the other ones. Okay, I said emotional, mental, social. You all, this is the importance of having people in your life who you trust. People, trustworthy people. Someone who you feel, it don't have, you do not have to have a lot of people, because I read something and I heard this saying where you can have a small circle. That's why, I forget what kind of car, I think it was a Maserati or a Porsche. That's why a Porsche has 2 seats and a bus has 60 seats or whatever. Because the Porsche, the Maserati, is a high value ticket item. It costs a lot. It requires a lot of commitment, like to maintain it. I'm sure it's an enjoyable ride. Yeah, it's an investment. So the payoff makes the person feel good. So it's social, emotionally benefiting them. But it doesn't fit everybody up in there. Only the driver and one other person. Maybe 2 other people. Because who's going to be in there with you more than likely? Somebody you trust. Or somebody you value. And hopefully that person is trustworthy. Okay. So relationships can help increase our overall well-being and happiness. So if our relationships are lagging, then you build community. So Getting involved in community fosters connections and provides supports, leading to a richer life experience. You build community. You go where people think like you, act like you, value, where they will value you. They won't try to change you to be like them. They may encourage you to improve, which is totally different from trying to change you to be like them. It may look similar, right? It may feel like when I told you my friend from years back was telling me about, she lays out her clothes. Well, she didn't lay them out, but she would organize her clothes for the week in her closet. And she had her lunch menu made. And I was... I was bothered by that. But I had a light bulb go off in my head. And I took it as a signal to build community, like to learn from her. Okay? And then your community is your support system. So find, like, this is a community right here. And we can make this community as vibrant and as supportive, you guys, as you want. Like, I'm not requiring you all to respond to each other because, well, my rationale isn't really that strong. To be honest, I know I don't have time to read all of that just to be 100 legit. I don't have time to read it. But it might benefit you all to get to know each other better on that level because you're building a community. So if you want to do that, you're welcome to comment right there in the Google Classroom and talk back and forth. I see where you can do it on that stream. I'm just not requiring it. I want... Now, this is a strong rationale for it. I really want your energy to go into the assignment. I want that assignment to be an experience for you. I want you to be able to read that assignment, sit with it for a little bit, like really think it through and look at it from varying angles, upside down, bottom, top side up, and sideways, and just kind of analyze it for yourself, and then respond. Like you all did with week zeros, like I was saying at the very beginning, many of those responses, and I still have a lot to grade because some people hadn't put them in there, and it's over 100 of you all, and I did not grade 100. The people who got theirs graded, I sent you notification that it was graded, so you probably already saw that and saw your grade in the comment. But if you haven't, you've got until 11:59 to get it in there, and then that's helping me to get to know you all, and you can put your energy in that. You can really pour yourself into it and build a beautiful, well thought out response that really helps you. It helps you, right? It helps you. Like, and I'm only asking you to write what you feel comfortable writing. Only get as vulnerable as you feel, where you won't have regret for divulging that. Like, if you feel like you're going to have regret, then don't divulge that. Okay? You all help each other out in the comments, because I'm really trying to get through the content, and I'm not really looking at, I see some, like somebody saying 11:59 p.m. tonight, and so you all help each other out, please. I'm just really trying to get the content to you guys so you all can know that what the seat What is the foundation of everything that we are doing? We're doing self-care. We're looking at self-care, how self-care and social-emotional wellness are tied together, and how Bronfenbrenner's ecological systems theory framework shows us. It peels it apart, and it shows us all the components of it. It names everything, and it gives you vision where you can now see what's up. It gives you a level of awareness that you did not have prior. And it puts you in the driver's seat now because you are aware of how you feel and where you stand and what you want. And you know now that you have a right to guard and preserve your well-being. And you have a reason to set a boundary around it. And to me, one thing I do know about boundaries, you don't have to go around announcing boundaries, guys. You don't need to make a banner and says, don't ring my doorbell or come here unannounced. You don't have to do that. You can tell people, hey, I really prefer, if you're coming over, check in first or check with me first to see if I'm available. And you don't even have to explain why. Just say it like that. And that's you preserving yourself. Okay? Social. Let's move on before we run out of time. Okay, you are the spiritual. Now, this is one of my favorite categories, the spiritual. The spiritual looks like you having some kind of meditative practice, whatever that is for you. Like for me, it's in the Word, it's in prayer, it's like in the Word of God, in the Bible. It's listening to prayers, it's listening to biblically based podcasts. It's me reading content related to the Bible or something. Like, it's going to increase my faith. It's going to help me to understand why I believe what I believe. I'm not trying to compete with anyone else. I'm not trying to change anybody else's mind about what their thing is. I share what my thing is, right? But I'm not trying to for grown folks. Grown folks are grown. Make your own decision, right? Make your own decision. And so spiritual helps take care of this inner part of us. Spirit, soul, and body. It helps us to get locked in to that relationship, right? Okay, so it brings mental clarity. It helps you to connect with your inner self and to find peace. There's that word again, peace. And somebody wrote about peace in their homework, preserving their peace and setting boundaries around their peace. Like, I don't know, explanation, but I ain't gonna let you mess up my peace either, right? Yeah. Nature walks. Nature walks enhance spiritual well-being by promoting mindfulness and a deeper connection to the environment. That's one thing I love about living in Arizona, man. Listen, what is this, January the 26th? I was outside today. I had on no coat, no jacket. I had on this gray shirt and a sweatshirt over it. I almost wore my flip-flops that I got in Dubai when I was in Dubai a few weeks ago, but I didn't wear my flip-flops because I was like, that's pushing it. You don't want, for myself, you don't want to just be too exposed because it is like, 57 or 60? It's not 80, Lynn. Like, don't go too wild. So I wore my regular shoes. But I love the weather here. Even in the summer, like when it's crazy hot, 120, and we're like shake and bake. Like, just go out. I will go out for like 1 to 2 minutes and let that heat is the weirdest heat. I remember the first time I visited Phoenix over a decade ago. It was maybe 15 years ago. In July, I believe it was. When that heat hit me, I was like, what is this? I feel like I'm in an oven. Don't wear blue jeans. Not in the summer. But the point I'm making, I could go on and on about the weather here because you all, it's beautiful. The nature walks are easy. It's easy to enjoy nature here. It's so easy. It's so easy. I could go out right now, just walk up the street. Now, I will say this. We have to watch out for those darn coyotes. Because I was riding my bicycle once. I left my neighborhood and went in another neighborhood, and look, 4 coyotes walking in a line. Like one in front of the other. Woo! I saw those 4 coyotes. I turned that bicycle around and I trekked up out of there. I was like, 4? Now maybe one. Maybe. I got up out of there and was glad they didn't see me. And now I carry my little pepper spray thing when I go out. So you all get your nature walks. Okay, I done messed up my blanket. Okay, so religious observances. So your faith-based observations that enrich your life. So whether that is attending church, Bible study, synagogue, the temple, or whatever you do, that's what you do. Okay, moving on to environmental. You all, it's almost 4 o'clock. Do you want me to keep going, or like I really want to honor your time? I don't want to take you because you have somebody said wild turkeys in Pennsylvania are aggressive. Yeah. All right, taking emotional intelligence. Oh, good. Y'all want me to keep going? All right, so if you have to leave at 4, you've served your committed time. I just want to get through this PowerPoint, you all. I left this PowerPoint in Google Classroom for you, so you have it. And please use this. And I also have another resource in there. I'm not going to talk about that yet, but that's a powerful resource. It will overwhelm you, though, if you try to go in there and do too much of it. I want to chunk that one down for you bit by bit so you're not overwhelmed. Okay, so environmental, you all, your spaces. Okay, listen. I'm going to go back to that comment I said earlier about don't be offended. Your spaces have to reflect, because they're going to reflect what's going on the inside of you anyway. Your spaces really do need to reflect the peace and the wellness that you want. And that could just simply be straightening up an area like I had to do many years ago with my home. It was our first house that we had, my little family, and we didn't know how to take care of everything in it. We were learning, right? And back then, new homes in St. Louis it was a rarity in St. Louis to have brand new built homes, right? So we didn't know how to take care of it fully. But some of that stuff I learned, like wash the dishes, girl. But your surroundings impact you, and they can make you depressed. They can make you sad. Colors, smells, odors. If your house has an odor, it's gonna impact you, because odors come from bacteria, and bacteria gets in you, and it's gonna make something go wrong. Right? So environmental is telling us that it is imperative that we self-assess even our own bodies that we live in. We live in our own bodies. And if we're not taking proper care of our own bodies, then it's going to make us depressed, sad. And sometimes, I can think back in times when maybe I was feeling sadness, or maybe I wasn't as strong, or maybe I was not well, because I did have childhood illnesses. And in those times, your hygiene slips. Your hygiene may slip, which means you're not being intentional with your hygiene. And if you're not intentional with your hygiene, you're more than likely going to find yourself in a loop of sadness. The loop. So you can look. I'd say I am my own case study. I'm my first case study. You can be your own first case study. If you're feeling, and I'm not a doctor, a medical doctor, physician, I am an educator. So I read a lot. I have a wide base of knowledge for teaching adolescents, young adults, right? So we learn these things. If you can look at and start isolating some things in your life by addressing them. So you say, okay, my hygiene has slipped. I think I'm going to go to the store and buy, like you can go to the inexpensive store and just buy either a scented body wash or a non-scented body wash. Is this thing going to make me go? What is this thing doing? It's trying to verify me, y'all. Wait, hold on. Okay, am I still here? It made me verify myself, and then it said it looked like it was going to quit. Okay, I'm still here. So you all, the point I'm trying to make is this. Be your own case study. Take this information, and we're talking about environmental, and look at your environment, and then start fixing things that could be making you feel negative. And then, according to your budget, address it. So go to the inexpensive store. I'm not saying names because they're not paying me to advertise for them. So I'm going to call them. Go to the inexpensive store. Go over there in the aisle where the cleaning products are for the body and clothes and the house. Smell them to see which one you like. What fragrance do you like? What fragrance is acceptable for you and your family? Or get unscented. And then go watch some YouTube videos about how to use them or clean your house, or tips on how to do whatever. Or you look at some here on TikTok, because TikTok is a school all in itself. And address your environment. Okay? And then isolate the environment. Start tracking, how do I feel now that my environment is organized? My bed is made. My bedding smells so good. Right? My floors are clean, or whatever. Now I'm saying this, and I need to go in there and clean my shower because the window is smudgy, and I will clean it. But it's not making me feel sad. It's just on my to-do list, and I haven't done it yet. But if I leave it and I start feeling a certain way about it, and it irritates me, well then, Lynn, just go in there and clean it. Why didn't you clean it last week? Okay. So that's the impact of your surroundings. Now we can go, because again, microsystem is the house. When I gave you all the, diagram. You have the diagram, right? So yeah, you have the diagram of the ecological systems theory. And when you look at the diagram, you see you're right in the center, the individual. Look, I'm going over here to get it. Let me see. You're right in the center, and then look at all the rings that are surrounding you. Good night. I can't find where it is. Oh, there it is. Okay. Bum, bum, bum. Bronfenbrenners. Okay. I can't find the actual, but you all know what I'm talking about. It's that circular, right? Okay. All right, so somebody said their clothes are all over the place. The mini library is beyond organized. Okay, yep. I hear you. I know back in what year was that? 2010-ish or so. I had so many books because I love buying books. And then if I don't read the whole book, I will invest some time in that book because I buy them for a reason. And then I had them all on the side of my bed, y'all, stacked up neatly, but I couldn't get to that side of the bed. And I told myself, you are going to buy a shelf for these books. And I did. It took me some months to figure out which shelf I wanted. But I said, since you're buying a shelf, buy one that you like. And then get those books off the floor, Lynn. I know I had 40 or 50 books on that floor over there. And they were all stacked neatly, but out of place. Okay. So the microsystem is your immediate environment that directly interacts with you, the individual. So your family, your friends, your school, your workplace, and we haven't even touched on workplace. But I do know this. When you get you, like you in the center, when you get this and you feel powerful in yourself, that workplace, you will dominate that workplace situation. It won't even bother you what people are trying to do, act like, say, or whatever, because you'll know that's their problem. That's their garbage. They're carrying that. They stink. They're walking by me. I can smell it, but it's not my garbage. It's theirs. Okay? All right. So let me go back to the slide deck, and then I'm going to get off of here so you all can go spend time with your loved ones. Yep. Problem is the consistency of not going backwards. Erica, don't beat yourself up over learning how to bowl without bumpers or how to roller skate without the little gate. You're still learning, right? And so learning is a process. At least you recognized it. That's self-awareness, Erica. You've got the self-awareness. So congratulations on that. Right? You are self-aware. You know. And now you know you must put some bumpers up somewhere. What are they going to look like? Where are you going to put them? You may need to use your roller skating, or you're riding a bike. You may need some training wheels, okay? What are my training wheels going to look like? Maybe it's a person. Maybe it's a product. Maybe it's a system. Maybe it's... Okay? All right. Okay, so organizing your space. Yep, we've hit on that. Okay, let's move right on to... Oh, yeah, we already hit on this. The next slide says, tidy living space, enjoying the outdoors, and environmental well-being. Okay. I'm going to skip these. I'm going to go to the action steps. And then we're going to get off here because it's 4:09. I don't want to, I'm being mindful, y'all. Identify one small change that you can make. So Erica is self-aware. So Erica has already more than likely pointed out one of her first projects as her own case study. Okay? So Erica's like, man, I need to do something about this. So now she's going to set some time around it. She's going to schedule something about it. She's going to look for tools or resources that can help her with it. And that's what all of us are doing, because we're going to be our own case study for these 8 weeks. Okay? So, steps to implement change. Identify the change by, and I'll just read it, because if I paraphrase, I don't want to leave anything out. The first step is to clearly identify the change you want to implement, ensuring it aligns with your goals. So, we ain't going to talk about SMART goals. We could, but, you know, what is it that you are needing for yourself? So if you need to get the books off the floor like I did, I am going to get a bookshelf. Now, I don't want any random bookshelf. It must be this size. It must have these many shelves on it. I'm saying bookshelf, I mean bookcase. The whole thing, right? The bookcase with all the shelves on it. That's what I mean. I'm saying bookshelf. But okay. So I did. I said I wanted to be so tall, so wide to fit on that wall. I want it to be made out of this certain material. I want it to be foldable so I can move it easily. I want it to cost this amount within my budget. And y'all, I looked up, well, I don't like to say the word looked, and I done said it. But I did. I found one. Now, this was almost 20 years ago. And I found it at Hobby Lobby for under $200. Plus, I got a discount. You know how Hobby Lobby used to do those discounts they used to give you? I don't know if they still do that anymore. And so I got it so inexpensively. And then my cousin came and helped me put it up. Right? My cousin and his cousin. They came. They put it up for me. And then I got all those books on there. Yep. So that's what it is. Identifying the change. Setting realistic goals. I told myself the measurements of it. I knew I couldn't put it up. So I got help. And then I knew I had to stay within a budget. So the goals were realistic. I created a timeline kind of loosely. I didn't write any of this down. I just had it in my head, right? And then accountability measures. Hold yourself accountable by tracking your progress and identifying support systems that can help you stay on track. Once I got that, I called my cousin. I probably should have called him first, but I didn't know, because I didn't measure and I didn't do it like how those HGTV people do it. I just did it how Lynn does it, kind of intuitively, right? And I should have called him ahead of time and scheduled it, but he was so gracious. And then I had to pay him. I felt like I'm going to give him something real nice for, so I gave him a nice little coin, and all was well. So that's what you're going to have to do, right? That's what you're going to have to do with this week's assignment as you're going through. And just every day, every moment of the day, thinking and making things work out for you. Okay, so let's close it up. So, okay, so you are on the PowerPoint. On the end slides, I put like mental health hotlines. So, like, if you don't already have like your mental health connections or supports, if that's something you feel like you want to investigate, you can, if you don't want to investigate it this week, just make a note of it and just have that awareness, like, you know what, I might try talking to the counselor at church, or one of those apps or whatever. Okay? Or just talking to maybe a family, or talking to someone who you trust. And then there are websites for that as well. And then you can also find recommended reading books, like emotional resilience books, holistic health books, self-care books. I wrote 2 books. My first book, where is it? It is called Trash Can: Stop Being a Receptacle for Toxic People's Waste. I think I moved it to the other room. I wrote that after we returned to campus after the pandemic, because I was a mess, teachers were a mess, globally teachers were a mess. Kids were saying things all over the world, saying things about what they experienced. Reports in the news were reporting things. It was obvious that we weren't in a good place. So that, and then I have a book that I wrote. It's a digital book, and it's addressing adverse childhood experiences and why you must overcome those. If you listen, you will be surprised what's considered an adverse childhood experience. So if you haven't, make a note. You don't have to do it this week because you don't want to overwhelm yourself with all this stuff. But if you haven't taken that adverse childhood experiences survey questionnaire, make it something that you do this year in 2025. Yeah, because you would be surprised what's considered an adverse childhood experience. And having the awareness of the ones that I experienced allowed me then to see them differently and to start looking at my reaction and my struggle and my self-esteem around those issues. Okay? All right, you all. So in conclusion, you all, this self-care, you're making the self-care ecosystem map. That's the homework. Let me go over here to the homework. I want to read it straight off. When it comes to homework and things, I don't really like paraphrasing because I like clarity. I want my students to be clear. So we are in week 1. This assignment for week 1 is due next Sunday by 11:59. So you're making a self-care ecosystem map to identify systems in your life and their impact on your well-being. And then after you make the map, and it's a literal map, but how you make it look is up to you. If you need ideas, then just Google it and get some ideas so you can see what's already out there, what has been made. You could use a mind mapping tool. You can go to Canva. Canva has mind mapping tools, and it will allow you to make it as a mind map that looks a lot of different ways. And then after you make your ecosystem map, you will write a reflection on one small change you can make to prioritize self-care this week. And we aim for 150 words minimum, 350 words maximum. That's our word count. I did provide a rubric on week 0 to help you see, like, and I'm going to change I put it on a point scale that needs to be quadrupled. So don't worry about the points. Like, I will go in and change the points because I think I have it on a 25 as the highest, but you all are getting 100. And even though this is it's a non-graded course, I want you all to have feedback on what you're writing. Okay? So that you can take this and make a journal or make a book or make something that's valuable to you that you can use in the future, right? Okay, so make the map, write 150 words to 350 words. You can make your map digitally or by hand. And then I gave you the steps on how to do it. And I gave you the Bronfenbrenner's Ecological Systems Theories graphic. Yeah, the one I was looking for while I was talking to you all and couldn't find it, but here it is. Okay, so this week we focus on the microsystem, which is you, your work, your friends, your neighbors, your family, your school. Okay? Thank you all for being here today. If you have any questions, just message me over there in Google Classroom. Now, again, next week we will meet in Google Classroom. And those students, those of you who are already in Google Classroom, like you submit it and you're in there, then you are in the course. But if you're not in there and you want to be in the course but you can't get in, you're going to message me here on TikTok and ask me to host another session starting in April. Okay? All right, everyone. You all be blessed. Bye.